Concorde supersonic jet is coming in for its final landing today. The last London to New York flight of the British Airways Concorde is scheduled to take place later today. The last of them will be a flight from New York. The flight marks the end of nearly 28 years of commercial flights on Concorde, which is being retired because it's too expensive to run.
Well, you saw it moments ago, live right here on CBS 2, an end of an era in aviation as British Airways flies its last supersonic Concorde flight from London to New York. Happy landing there. Alexis Christophers of CBS Market Watch joins us right now with more on this story. Very exciting.
Really very exciting, and certainly an historic moment in aviation history. You were just watching a live picture of the final arrival of the supersonic Concorde jet at Kennedy Airport. After 27 years of catering to rich jet setters, the Concorde is being retired. Its owner, British Airways, says the Concorde was just too expensive to keep in the air. Fast and extremely expensive. For 27 years, Concorde has been the way to cross the Atlantic. Born in the 1960s, the plane was a bold attempt by Britain and France to create a new way of travel. It was a technological marvel and the ultimate symbol of jet-set glamour.
Concorde is a remarkable aeroplane, and for those of us who live and work in the industry, it is truly unique. An aeroplane massively ahead of its time in many ways in terms of what it could do.
With speeds of up to 1,350 miles per hour, the Concorde carried 100 passengers across the Atlantic in just 3.5 hours for a price $11,000 round trip.
With Concorde, you could leave New York and you could be in London in time for dinner.
But despite its supersonic luxury, the Concorde was ultimately a financial dud. Only 20 planes were ever built, flown by British Airways and Air France. The Concorde crash in Paris in 2000 and the 9/11 attacks, which claimed 40 of the Concorde's most loyal passengers, proved too much to take for the Concorde.
We always knew that there would come a point when Concorde would retire. I guess it's come sooner than we anticipated.
And this is a live chopper shot of the final Concorde arrival at JFK. There are 7 Concordes remaining, and we're going to hear next week as to what they're going to do with those. There's talk that they're going to be in museums across the country. There's also the hope that one will remain intact so that it can fly again, perhaps at shows, at air shows. Now, tomorrow's passengers from JFK to London's Heathrow Airport will all be invited guests of British Airways. Actress Joan Collins and supersonic frequent flyer Sir David Frost are on the guest list for the final Concorde. You on the list at all?
No, I don't think so. A magnificent aircraft that was on it once, unforgettable, just beautiful.
Yeah, 100 passengers only. Tight quarters?
Very tight. Yeah. Oh, you know you're there.
No, never flew.
That's right. Thank you, Alexa. The British Airways Concorde is about to fly into history. The supersonic jet landed at JFK for the last time this evening before making its final flight home to London. CBS 2's Pablo Guzman was there to speak to passengers as they stepped off the jet. Pablo.
Ernie, Dana, for the folks traveling on the Concorde tonight, there was a definite reluctance to let this go. The next to last Concorde flight, British Airways, arrived at JFK about 5:48 this evening. The last flight returns to London tomorrow. At Terminal 7, emotions among those disembarking were tinged with regret.
It was really special when we found out it was the very last one.
Special and perhaps a little bit sad also?
It was actually, yes.
In the neighborhoods near JFK, like Howard Beach, where jet noise has been an issue, well, there the passing of the Concorde is seen as long overdue.
Over the years, I think a lot of people have been kind of frightened by the incident that happened in France. And naturally, with the noise that it produces, it's also something to be thankful for.
Of course, there's also guys who feel this way. You always wanted to fly that thing, huh?
Just once.
Why?
Just to spend $8,000 and say, I did it. Boom.
Folks, one measure of human progress has been the discovery of new worlds and how to get there, and how to get there faster. Though the Concorde may be gone after tomorrow, there will be, down the road, a less expensive, less noisy, supersonic form of travel of some kind. Bet on it. Reporting live from JFK, Pablo Guzman, CBS 2 News. Dana, Ernie.
Okay, Captain. Thank you, Pablo.
Well, you can say goodbye to commercial supersonic travel. Concorde service ends today. This is a look from just a few minutes ago, and there it goes, the last of the needle-nose jets leaving JFK on its final flight to London. The Concorde was a joint project of the British and French governments. It began commercial service January of 1976, but passengers chose cheaper seats over a faster ride.